possible, as good as possible. So that's the first thing that is required, because like it's going to be like what do you call this, um, health comes first, so make sure that is good. So okay, so coming back to what we are currently planning to do. So how many of you know me already? Say yes. And for those who don't know me, I'm just gonna give a quick introduction. So sorry guys for giving a boring quick introduction about me again. So okay, so as I was it Ayush who was
Yes,
talking
yes.
before?
As Ayush.
Ayush, hey, hey. So
Hi.
as
Yeah.
as Ayush was saying, like, yeah, I'm Praveen. I'm originally from Chennai, India, and I'm currently in working and study. I was here studying for about like cloud computing, masters in cloud computing from University of Leicester, and right now I'm working in the UK as a full stack JavaScript specialist. So I keep saying like I'm a full stack specialist, full stack specialist. What is the proof that I am a full stack specialist? So let me share my screen and show you something awesome. And right, so I hope everyone is able to see my screen. So this is my personal website, and this is how it looks like. So this is completely built on HTML and CSS. So this is not something related to React. So this is just a website, and I urge all of you. So React is coming basically in the front end development. So please make sure every front end engineer have a nice website like this. The reason why I said is like just because of my website, I've got like a lot of job opportunities. So whoever is interested in getting a new job, nice job, please don't hesitate to create a website. And for those who have questions, you can always approach me. So there is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere. I'm available everywhere to work on. And yes, I do have a YouTube thing as well. So if you wanna learn a lot, you can also look at my YouTube channel. So the site looks very simple. There is a small introduction section. There is a small experience section, what all things I have been doing. Then there is an education section, and the portfolio contains what all things I have done so far, something like that. And then the blog is where I scribble all the stupid things what I get to my mind. So whichever, see, the first thing which I would say is, even if it is a hello world program, don't hesitate to directly go and show it in the LinkedIn. So that's something which is really motivate will be really a motivating factor for you. So there will be like 100 people who would be, out of the 100 people there will be like 20 people who would be saying, hey, what is this, is not even a big thing to show. But there will be 80 people who will be saying like, awesome man, this is super cool. So just go for that. Okay, that's the first motivation that you get. And this is where people talk behind my back, and this is where you can talk something about me. So this would be a perfect scenario of a personal portfolio. So I urge every one of you here to do something like this. For those who need support, please, I'm here, just ask me. Okay, so with that being said, I'll just send this link in the chat. And then the one more thing is, I mean, like, um it's just a request. So if you are happy, you can go subscribe my YouTube channel as well. So why I say is like, I've got like a lot of things in this. For example, how many of you like to play games, like the to React games, a game in a React? So this is something which I did very recently, and I'll just show the trailer today, and then we will go into how to start with React JS application programming and etc. Okay, so this is what I have done so far. I'm just gonna put my share my audio, and then show you what is possible in React. Like, I was thinking only creating web applications is possible in React, but I thought this is not possible, but I was able to do this. So without further delay, I'm just gonna play this one. Hey folks, today I created an awesome escape room concept as a primer using React.js. How many of you are interested in looking at the final product and a complete workshop? Here's a demo. So what happens is, this is what you see in the whole page. And then I could see like, okay, if I click on this place or that place or that place or that place, nothing happens. Okay, why don't I click on the bulb? Oh, wow. I get a question saying, what do you see? Let me put as a bulb. Oh, sorry, try again. Okay, let me click on the other bulb. Bulb again. Okay, I'm literally shivering myself. So let me try this. Okay, bulb, no. Oh, there you see there are two puzzle pieces. Now let me try to use light one. That's right. I got my puzzle piece glowing with a tick mark. Let me put as light 2 and boom. That's right. I've got my case solved. So do you want to know how I built this? Just watch this complete demo in YouTube. I start from building the basic stuff using React, and it's going to be really helpful for people who are beginning your React.js journey. So go on, check out the link below, and please subscribe to the channel as well. So have a nice day. See ya. So how many of you think that was interesting? I'll just send you the link here. That's actually a 2-hour video, and here's the link. So check it out later, and yeah, don't forget to give a subscribe thing. And yeah, so apart from that thing, please do get connected with me on LinkedIn as well. I'll be sharing all these links at the end as well. So let's start by looking at how we should be setting up our development environment. Okay, so for that, what I suggest you do is just search in Google for Praveen Dev Environment. I'll make the screen size bigger as well. So the moment you open this Google with Praveen Dev Environment, the first thing that you see is my personal development environment, my adventures. So here you would be able to see a lot of things. And what I would suggest you do is like go through all these things. Okay, so basically my development environment I have actually blogged about. So what exactly I use is Google Chrome, because Google Chrome is extremely flexible and it is very much helpful for developing web applications. So this is one of the main things, and there are like couple of extensions that are required. So make sure you have a couple of things that are required for development. For example, for React.js development, none of this is needed. So what is needed is React Dev Tools and Redux Dev Tools. So I'll explain that again in when we are going inside it. Okay, Zoom is for like communication, where we are also in Zoom. I always suggest you to use Git and always try to make your uh, open source contributions inside Git. The reason why I say this is it will be always better if you have if you keep your Git application, if you keep your source code version control, so that let's say we have come to an extent where the code works, and then you make a checkpoint, and then later on time you want to do something, meddle with something or try to add a new feature, and there could be possibility that it might not work and you don't know what exactly you changed so that it did not work. So Git will help you in checking the differences between what happened and what is changed, and based on that you can make things better. That is one thing. Then we have got item 2. This is one of the Mac OS specific things, but yeah, that is something which I wanted to show you. This is item 2. It has a lot of features like tabs and shortcuts. Then Oh My ZSH is one of the open source platforms, like open source terminal replacement. Again, I'll be showing you in detail what all things that I do. So Sublime Text we are not going to look at because this is React. For React, I'm going to directly jump into Node.js. So whenever you want to execute any kind of JavaScript platform, you'll be using your browser to execute anything which is running on JavaScript. But if you don't want to use browser, but you want to execute JavaScript, the only way to execute is using Node.js. And Node.js is the same JavaScript engine that powers the Google Chrome's engine as well. So that's the same thing. And finally, we will go with, oh yeah, I would like to also mention Typora. So how many of you here have used GitHub? The README files, GitHub pages, those kind of things. All these things will get you open. I mean, like yes. So this thing will help you in creating readmes. For example, let's say Let's try putting as MFL Edu Club and say, now if I want to make this as a heading one, or I'll make this, okay, so there is a heading one thing. So I'll just use command one and stuff like that. It looks nice. And then immediately when I see the source code, it also writes the README file for me, something like that. Hello world, how are you? So if I want to make the U as bold, I do control B or command B in Mac. So that automatically writes the markdown code for me. So this is one of the best things I have seen. And Typora is free during its beta, which is now, and then try going to that and install when it is free. Okay. So the next thing is Visual Studio Code. This is the best thing that Microsoft has ever done. So for some reason, Microsoft products never work out for me, but except Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code has been really the go-to editor for me for working with React JS applications. So I'm using Visual Studio Code as well. So I'm just gonna open a new window. Let me maximize this. So I've got a couple of extensions here. Okay, so I'll show you the extensions one by one, what they do. So I have got only these 8 extensions so far. So Cobalt is a theme, the theme that uses. So I'm not gonna talk more about the visual stuff. Okay, so ES7 React Redux GraphQL. Yeah, React Native snippets. This is one of the awesome extensions I ever love. So how many of you here are lazy like me? I'm lazy. I'm completely lazy. I don't like to write so much code. But if I am able to, okay, there are a lot of people raising hands. That's awesome. So yes, so a lot of people are lazy here, including me. And that way, what I'm gonna do is I take the help of snippets, and I'll be able to use them in a quicker way. I'll also show you something awesome in the meantime. Okay, so making you lazy, ES7 React Redux. This is really helpful for it. I'll show you a demo soon. ESLint and Prettier. Again, making you lazy at the same time, making sure your code looks good. Prettier will take the help of ESLint and make sure that the JavaScript that you write and HTML, CSS you write is perfectly correct, and then it is indented as well. So that is main thing. Git history and Git lens are like nice way of showing things. I'll show you how these things work. Let me show it to you in action. So if you see the Git lens, when you open a page, open a file or something like that, you can see that who actually did this particular line. So current line blame is one of the awesome things that I have ever seen in GitLens, and it is really good. So this is something which I really love. And apart from that, we have Git history. As the name suggests, it's gonna show the history of the file and everything. So that's one thing. And finally, other things are like this to do tree is cosmetic, VS Code icons are all, and these 3 things are cosmetic. So all you need to have is these five things which are going to help us. Okay, now coming to the lazy part. Okay, so a lot of people have said, okay, so George has sent a YouTube link. Let me have a quick look at what it is. Oops. Oh, dude, what is this? Okay, fine. Just try to be yeah, okay, George, fine. Okay, right. The first thing that we will be looking at is the lazy experiment. So how many of you are good with HTML and CSS here? Please say yes. Okay, before that, okay. Stop saying yes, sorry. How many of you don't know how to use HTML and CSS? I want to know how many of you not know HTML and CSS. Please say no. Just use the chat, don't use the raise hand. I'm not able to see that. Okay, just the basics. Okay, cool. Okay, looks like there are a lot of people. Great. Okay, you might be okay. Okay, there are so many people, is it? Okay, fine. In that case, what I'm gonna do now is I'll do this way. Okay, so so for people who are not sure basically how to work on HTML and CSS. You can try to understand how to go into your full stack development through this one. I'm just going to send this thing. This contains everything from HTML, basics of HTML, Git, CSS, JavaScript, everything is contained in that link. So later we will have a look at that. Okay, now coming to the awesome demo part. How many of you are interested now? So demo part is now. Let's do this. Okay, so this is my page. Okay, I'm sorry about my poor drawing skills. So let's say I've got a header tag. Okay, this is a header tag. Then I've got a logo here. Then this logo is inside a h1 tag. Then there is a tag, and there is a logo written inside that. And we have like 4 different links here. Nav1, Nav2, Nav3, Nav4. Okay, I'll tell you how these 4 links are written. Okay, so just give me one moment. So if I go back to my Visual Studio Code, and so if you see this whole thing, let me remove this extensions part. Okay, so the way I have written this is, I have a header tag. Inside the header tag, I have a h1, I have a which has logo. Then I've got a nav tag. So this one, right? This one right here is a nav tag. And inside that you have UL tag. Then you have 4 list items. Okay, so LI, then there is a tag. Okay, the same way there is another LI, then there is a tag. So these are the different number of tags that are available here. So I'm just giving a textual representation of the same. Okay, so I've got UL LI A. So that says nav1. So the same way I've got nav1, nav2, nav3, and nav4. So how long do you think will take every single person answer this for me just to write the HTML part? For those people who don't know how to write it, it is all right. You don't need to answer. But for those who know how to write the HTML tags, including the doc type, tell me how long does it take? So we have the first entry as 15 minutes. Go on. I'm expecting at least 10 to 15 answers. 10, 12, 5, 10. Rajat says 1, and a lot of people say 3 and 5 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes, 5. Okay, cool. I just got the mean graph of like around 10 to 20 minutes, right? So there are a couple of people who said 5 minutes to 2 minutes, etc. Okay, let's do it. So let's go for a challenge. How long will I take personally to write all these things? Okay, so I'm just going to clear all the drawings. I remember completely. Okay, thanks for bringing this up, Drishant. W3 schools is not a good place to copy and learn because they have a lot of flaws in it. So please take care of that alone. Okay. But even then, if you have a specific way of HTML code, you can't have every single thing in W3 schools, right? So that is also there. Okay, let's go ahead and say like we have 10 to 15 minutes as the basic thing, right? Okay, now I'm going to use the same timer. Sai Sumant, I just gave a simple link before. So I'm just gonna learn all these things from, and then I'm also giving this link here. Oops, I'm not able to copy and paste it here. Just a second. Yep. Sai Sumant, I gave the link there. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, okay. So coming back to our stuff. So the first thing which I would like to do is I'll change the language mode to HTML. And then, okay. So everyone, we can see the timer going here. The moment this struck 0, I'm going to start. Okay. So we have the doc type here, and then I'll go to here. I want a header tag. Inside that, I want a h1. Then there is a, then there is a logo, and then along with it, there is a nav tag, there is a UL tag, 4 list item tag, and then everything has nav 1, 2, 3, 4 done. So it was 20 seconds. How was it? I just took 20 seconds for doing the whole thing. Okay, so this particular thing is called as emmet. So I'm just gonna send you how this thing works. And exactly, Priyanshu, that's right, you're right. So emmet is what is the whole thing about. So I'm just gonna show what emmet is, how this thing works. So let's watch a demo here. So if I play this one, it's gonna ask you to write CSS like abbreviations. Okay, so whatever you're writing, you're gonna write as CSS. And then once you do this, no, it is not a Visual Studio Code extension. It is already there in Visual Studio. It's a built-in thing. So the moment you press tab or enter or something like that, it's gonna show it this way. Okay, so if you go to the emmet documentation here, and if we go to this, where is this? There is something called as cheat sheet. Okay, I'm just gonna send this cheat sheet to everyone as well. So here you can see that if you put nav ul li using the greater than symbol, it is going to give you the child selectors. And then this is the multiplication selectors. You have a lot of things here. So follow the cheat sheet. This is one of the best ways to learn things easily. And that's something which I wanted to tell. Okay. And the next thing, let's go for a working example for us. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is let's start with how to work on React.js. That is the main thing we are here, right? And it's going to be very quick, and please follow it as well. Okay, so the first thing which we will be doing is we need Node.js for this. So get it from nodejs.org. Always try to use the LTS version, which is always better because it has all the stable versions. The second thing is once you install Node.js, you will be able to check this Node.js working or not by opening your command line or terminal and then trying to use node-v. Okay, so if you do node-v, it's gonna say 10.1.19.0 minus so bad. Okay, and then once you check this, there is also npm-v. This is node package manager. Okay, Gokul Praveen, I explained this before. Let me explain again. If you want to execute JavaScript, you need a browser, a web browser, right? Other than web browser, the only place you can execute a JavaScript file is using Node.js. So Node.js is a runtime application. It's a JavaScript runtime platform. That is the same engine. The engine that is built inside Node.js is the same engine that is built in what do you call this one? Chrome as well. Both the engines are using Chrome's V8 engine. Okay. Oh, thanks, Priyanshu. That's exactly the right thing. So the first thing that you require for Node for building a React application is a decent browser. As I said to you before, Google Chrome is one of the best things, and make sure you have this React Dev Tools thing installed as well. So if you go to this Chrome extension, this is from Facebook. Okay, so I'm also adding this link here. So this is the first thing. Chrome is the Chrome is the first thing. This is the second thing. Node.js is the third thing. Download the LTS version, please. So I'll just use the LTS version, and then that's it is required. So Node.js and the other JavaScript engines, they work on this principle called as package management. Okay, almost all these things have the packages installed. Suraj, yes, it is being recorded, but I'm not sure whether this will be provided to you. So please stay here so that it will be really nice. And I'm also going to do the same thing on my YouTube channel as well at a later point of time. But please stay here and ask me any questions if you have. So that is going to be really interactive. That's the main reason we are here. Superb. Okay, so now once we have got these things, we will be using this node package manager to start something. Okay, so before that, I'll start with a Git repository. Okay, so I'll go to github.com. For those people who have not signed up to GitHub, please go ahead, create an application, create um, a GitHub account, and it will be really helpful. So I'm just going to create a new repository here, and I'm going to say MFL React intro. Okay, so if I do this, React.js will shout at me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use small letters. Okay, MFL React intro, and then I'm just going to put it as a public repository, and I'll just click on create repository. Okay, so this is how is the process of creating a repository. Now to take this in local, what we will do is we'll just copy this one, and then my best suggestion is take your username, put it in front of GitHub, and then paste it and copy the whole thing. So technically you should have something like this. Okay, so this is your username at github.com, then the repositories URL. So this is the way you should be using it. Okay, so let me go back. Now, if I need to create a new repository and save it here, if I click on this file menu, I could get either open a folder or clone repository. I'll use the clone repository. I don't want to use clone from GitHub. Don't use that. Instead, paste the link. Once you paste this link, it will ask you clone from URL. Okay, I will do this. And then it will ask me where I should be cloning this repository to. So I'll click on downloads, and then I'll use the works, and then I'll select the repository location. So this has automatically cloned it. So I want to open this repository. So I click on the open repository. Boom, I've got this. The reason why I'm using React, the reason why I'm using VS Code is every single thing is available inside this. So I have the file structure here. I don't want to open my Explorer page again. I have my Git branches and everything. Every single thing is there in this. So I don't need to open my GitHub page again. So I'm just going to close that one. And maybe if I open this one here, yeah, it says repository is empty. That's fine. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I need a terminal. So even terminal is available here. So if I go to terminal, it says me, this is my master location. So this particular thing is for, what do you call this? This is given by omizsh and iTerm. So this is one of the best things which can happen to a terminal. And unfortunately, the terminal is available. This terminal replacement is available only for the what do you call this? Linux based missions. So in case if you are using a Windows, I guess there is something called a CMDER, but generally use the Git bash for it. Okay, so the first thing that we will be doing is let's check our node and npm are working fine. Okay, so node and npm looks perfectly fine right now. Okay, super. So we got this one. Then there is another command which is called as npx. So npx and npm should have the same versions. So npx is, so first thing, npm is node package manager. Okay, so node package manager, that is npm. Okay, and then there is npx. So what npx does is node package executor. Okay, so generally what we will do when we try to install a software, let's say, what is the common software that we know? Any game or any application, you download the setup file, you double click on it, press next, 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 and then finish, and then you delete the setup file, right? So setup file is only good for installing the application, and then you will be throwing it away. That is what node package executor does. So for example, if we want to create a new React application, I don't want to write the basics of everything. Okay, so starting from what do you call this? Starting from the boilerplate and all these things, I don't want to create my own version of things. So what I'm going to do is I'll be using a boilerplate. So there is a boilerplate called create React app. Okay, this is the package name. Okay, package name is create React app. And how this syntax is, let's do this. So syntax is going to be create React app and give the folder name. Okay, so example will be like dot for this folder, or let's say my React application. Okay, something like this. So now you all understood how what is the example, what is the syntax, right? So if you want to use this create React app, you need to do npm install create React app. Then you need to do create React app dot or like maybe my React app. And then you need to do npm uninstall create React app, right? So because we don't need the create React app anyway. So what best we can do is we will do npx create React app my React app. So this way, this is going to install the create React app as a package, and then it is going to run the create React app with my React app as the parameter, which is the folder, and then it is going to uninstall the create React app, which is no more required. So if I want to use the same thing on my current folder, I'll use dot, and this is what we are going to do now. Okay, so if I'm going to do this one, any questions so far? All good, right? So I'm going to do npx create React app dot. So that's the command I'm going to use. The dot stands for install it in the current directory. The moment I press enter, let me maximize this window. You can see what exactly happens. This will take a lot of time and it requires an awesome internet connection. So please keep in mind that internet connection is also required. Okay, so now it will create a package.json, which is there on the left side. And let's quickly look into what my internet connection speed at the moment is. It's coming around like 100 Mbps for now. The main thing also matters is the upload speed as well. So make sure you are on a good internet connection, at least 10 Mbps down speed. Okay. So this is going to install. See what happens is it is going to install the packages. Then once this create React app has been installed, it is going to this is like a template application. So this is going to install React, React DOM, React scripts with CRA template. So it actually first installs CRA template, and this CRA template is installing React, React DOM, and React scripts. Okay, any questions? Happy to answer any questions while this installs. How do I use Git along with this is, so what we will be doing is once this particular repository is completed, once we finish, every single changes are going to be updated in Git. So that's what we are going to do. Next question is create React app a package from npm? Yes, it is it's an online available package which is registered in npm. Where do we run the app? I'll show you the running instructions in a few seconds. Are these files saved in the current folder itself? Yes, they are all saved in the current folder itself. Any emulator? Sorry, Sai Sumant, I'm not able to understand what do you mean by any emulator. Rajat, could you please explain npx and npm once more? Okay, so before that, so we have got the success message. So created MFL React intro at users downloads works MFL React intro. Inside the directory, you can do a lot of things. You can do npm start, which starts the development server. I guess that answers your question, Sumant. Where do we run the app? So we will be running this way. npm run build will be bundling the app into a simple, like an efficient way of production level. So right now we are in the development mode. Production build will be more optimized mode, like the efficiency will be higher. Then npm test is just for testing whether everything works fine. It is called as unit testing. And since most of you are students, I don't want to mess around with unit testing. So I'm skipping that part. npm run eject. It's an advanced thing. Never do it. That's it. Okay. So the first thing that we will be doing is write npm start. Okay. So before that, Rajat is asking again, we should be explaining the npm and npx. As I explained before, if you want to install a software, you need to download the installer file, setup file, double click on the setup file, you go next, and then you do the finish, then you run the software, right? And then you will delete the installer file. So that is what npx does. So npx, what it does is, npx is a combination of these three things. It does the npm install the package name, then the package name along with the parameters it will run. Then it will do npm uninstall the package name. This is what npx does, which is the difference between npm and npx. Any questions? Okay, cool. Now what we are going to do is, let me go to the the Git application, and let's see what exactly is the current situation here. So it takes some time to understand what exactly is happening, because generally, the React, VS Code's uh, the Git extension in VS Code is a bad thing. So uh, it takes some time to get this thing up. I guess it is dead. So what we will do is we will kill this. So I'm just going to close this. So one thing about this one is like one thing about VS Code is the moment you close it, it closes perfectly. And then if I try to open a new window and I open this folder, this is the folder I had, right? See, it opens at the same place where I even selected. This is cool, right? Okay, cool. So the next thing what we will be doing here is, so these are the files that are affected right now. These are the new files that are created. So what we are going to do is we will use the Git to create a checkpoint here. Installed all files using CRA, or else like bootstrapped new app. Okay, so the moment I give this message and press tick and then do like push, in a few seconds, you'll be able to see the same thing here as well. So if I refresh this page, it's going to show me all these things, whatever we have done so far. So this is what we did, and that's what we have. And the good part about this particular omyzsh is, see, it shows me the directory is bad, now the directory is good, something like that. Okay, let's start running the React application. Okay, so to run the React application, we should be using npm start. The moment from the place where we have the package.json, the moment you run it, it is going to open this page. Boom. So React.js is working right now. So what we will be doing is, let's open this. Let's open our app file, which is in the src folder, and then let's try to change something out of here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to put something like, okay, instead of learn React. Okay, so this is gonna do it in a nice way, like it's gonna automatically update things. So I'm just gonna keep this like side by side and show you how this thing works. So instead of learn React, if I do hello everyone and save it, the moment I save it, on the right side it automatically shows hello everyone. This is called as there is a hot module replacer. So it's called hot module replacement, and that is what does this. Okay, so this is very helpful because it's going to help you in a lot of ways. So about the settings that I have used, if you go back to my personal development environment, under this VS Code, you have something called as dot file. This dot file has all these settings that I'm using currently. So this will exactly show how I have set up my VS Code, and that will help you in setting up the same way. And I guess I have messed up with the prettier width due to something. So I'm just gonna reset this one alone. And let me save this again. So now it has got it in the correct way. Okay, so got another message saying Node.js is installed in the system and React app in that particular folder. So it means each time I'm creating a new app, I need to run create React app. That's perfectly right. How did you change the font? Priyanshu, do you mean the font size, or do you mean the font family? So you can change it here, right? So text editor, you have font. I've got these things. You can change the font here. It is in the settings, font. All right. So coming back to what we were working on. So this is the basic way of creating a React application. And now the next thing that we are going to do is, let me disable this one. Okay, it's gonna do another ESLint catchy. Okay, so before this, what I want to do is, um, I want to make sure this particular application looks perfect. So before that, I want to, what the main thing that we need to do is, we need to organize this src folder. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. Inside the src folder is where every single file is looking at. Okay, now what we want to do is, we want to separate all these things into 4 different things. Okay, components. Sorry, I'm not able to maximize this window. Then we have styles. Then we have services, assets, tests. Okay, so these are the five folders I generally create for any React application. So that way, app.css, it goes into the styles folder. App.js is a component. So the moment I change anything, it's gonna fail, and the compilation error will also come, and it says fail to compile. Okay, which is again cool in the React world. It is gonna be very responsive. So we don't need this. So this one is app.js, so it goes into the components. Immediately it shows another error saying that I can't find this app.js. So it's always keeping an eye on the application, like folder structure as well. We have this app.test, let it go to the tests. We have another CSS file, let it go to the styles. We have index.js, just leave it there. And we have logo.svg, which goes into the assets. Okay, now we don't need this logo.svg, we will delete this. Inside the components, we have app. Inside the services, there is nothing. Inside the styles, we don't need these 2 files again. Then inside the test, we have app.test.js. Now we need to make everything look perfect, like make it work. Okay, so what we need to do is, what we need to do first is, like, go ahead and open the index file which has everything. So index.js, so it is importing the CSS file which we have deleted, and this app is getting imported from the current directory. So what we will do is, we will use components slash app, and then we will save. The moment it compiles, it says I cannot find the app.css. So let's go to the app.css stuff. So we will go to app.js, and then, oops, and then remove this app.css. Okay, actually we don't need this particular thing because logo is also not there. So now comes the cool part. I don't want to write a class component like this. So I just do rcc and press enter. I've got a class component. And then here I can do like dot app. I need a h1 which says hello everyone. And then along with it, I want something like a paragraph which has lorem in it. Boom, that's done. It automatically puts class name for us, and all these things are done automatically. So the moment I save it, if I go back to my Google Chrome and refresh this page, I don't need to refresh it, but I just refreshed it just once. So it shows me the application. Okay, now we have fixed a lot of things. We have rearranged the stuff, but still we have to do one more thing. If you do npm test, it's not gonna work. So we need to test, fix the test as well, which is going to be // components / app. And then we can use something like hello everyone, right? So I'll just put hello everyone and then save it. It's gonna say one passed. After this, we will forget the app.test, right? So reorganized all the files, and then we will just save everything here. Okay. Now we have like lots of things. The main reason why we use React is the componentization part. Okay, a lot of components can be created. Now, before that, it says like React app and it shows the React logo, right? So how can we change this? Let's go to a favicon.io. Okay. So there are like loads and loads of things are there. So I'll just go to this real favicon generator, and then we will try to demo with a random image for now. So this icon looks really nice, right? So what we will do is we'll go with this particular icon, and then I'll use okay, I'll just download the generate all these files, and then I'm going to get this one. Okay, this particular website is real favicon generator, and if I click on the favicon package, I would be getting this one. These are the icons that I have got. So my main thing which I need to look into is I have two different icons. Okay, so if I go back to my public folder, so there is a public folder here, and then I've got a favicon.ico, then there is logo 192, then logo 512. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these file names. So favicon.ico seems to be fine. So this is going to be logo 192, and this is going to be logo 512. Okay, something is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to take these three files and replace them here. So replace. Okay, so this is supposed to be not logo minus. Okay, great. The moment I change all these things, look at this, the React app icon has changed. This is the way you will be changing the icons. And again, the React app, it says React app. So what we can do is we will go to the public folder again and go to this index.html. Here, everything is already there. So what we will do here is we will try to change, we can kill this one. We will try to say MFL demo, and then creating our own React app. And then I save this one. The moment I save this, it's gonna change everything to MFL React demo as well. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we want extra CSS files. For example, we will use the Bootstrap file. So Bootstrap as the CSS framework. So getbootstrap.com is the site, but let's go to Bootstrap CDN. So Bootstrap CDN provides all the links to the different CSS files. Just take only the CSS because Bootstrap uses jQuery. jQuery and React cannot go together. So that is one of the main things. So let's go with that one. Let's use a link, and then we will use this one. And also we want a nice font. So I'll go to fonts.google.com and go to I love Open Sans. So let's go with Open Sans. I'll use regular semi bold. And then I'll just take this link alone. And then I go back. Before my CSS file, I'll write another one and save it. Okay, so I've got these two things. I guess I'll just use, put this in front of this one. This is better. The moment I do it, you can see that all the fonts and everything got changed. So this is typical about Bootstrap. So we have added Bootstrap and we have updated the branding. So added Bootstrap and updated branding. Now I'm just going to do a git push. So it's going to push everything from my local to the thing. Josephine Sans is really good. Yes, I've seen that. Okay, now if I go to my index.js, okay, I love this thing called as SCSS. So let's say, remember we just created recently this one, right? So we use the header h1 a logo nav ul li star 4 a link dollar, something like this. We did this, right? So but for this, if we want to write Ashish, yes, jQuery is becoming the amount of reliance on jQuery is becoming low. It is nice to study, but I don't think it might help you in the future, but it is always nice to study. Okay, so if I need to write the CSS for this set of code, what I would do is I will write the CSS this way. Say, for example, if I put a style tag, I'll use header, then I'll use header A, then header nav, oh, sorry, header h1a, header h1. So I keep doing a lot of things. This is kind of like manual for me, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce something called as SCSS for you. So let me show SASMeister. I'll put the URL here. Oops. So if I try to use a SASMeister, something like this. Okay, so sorry. I need to write something like this, okay, for this. So instead of using header a, etc., what I can do is I can use a hierarchical structure. So header, inside that I want a h1, inside that a, then after the h1 I have got a nav. After the nav, inside the nav I have a ul, inside the ul I have a la, and inside the la I have a. You don't see anything outside, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna create a comment here. So you can see on the right side, I just wrote only once this nav. So on the right side, you can see that it has been duplicated a lot of times. So this is called as SCSS. It is a preprocessor for CSS, one of the preprocessors for CSS, similar to less, and this helps you in building something like this. And not only that, in JavaScript and other languages, we do something like functions, right? Even that is possible here. It is called as mixin. And if I need some a mixin for the link, so what I can do is I can use for these two things, I'll be able to use a mixin here. So at include, so this is the calling, okay? So this is the definition, this is the call, okay? So I use link. So now I have got this, everything is in the same way, right? Now if I want something like for the hover state for both the things, I can do this. Look, I've got a hover in both the places. And if I need like say text decoration none or something like that, in both the places, I'll be able to do the text decoration none. So this is like a CSS generator when you give some kind of a raw material or some kind of an input. So to use this functionality here, what we can do is we need to install something called as Node.js. Okay, so I'm going to use a shortcut here. npm I means npm install, and Node SAS is the application package which is responsible for installing the SCSS files, reading and writing the SCSS files. So what we are going to do is I'm going to do npm install Node SAS. Once I do this, I will have two changes, one on package.json and another one on, I don't think this will work. Wait, I don't think Node SAS 5 will work. So Node SAS React. So I need to use npm install Node SAS 4.14.1 because don't use this one, please. So use this particular thing because there seems to be some issues with the latest version of React and latest version of Node SAS. So we need to use a previous version here. Okay. So once that is done, we need to control C, like close this one and then again restart this application. So let's wait till this whole installation is done. Any questions so far? How was it so far? Any questions? Okay, now it has. See, NPX is only for installing and removing, but we need Node.js inside our application always. So we don't want to remove it. So CRA, Create React App, is an installer. It is not something that we will be using anytime, because we will be using only React scripts. Sorry, we'll be using only React scripts here. So if you see this, the React scripts is what something that we use always, but Node.js is something that we keep using something. Okay, so we should not use npx, because npx doesn't do anything. It's going to install and uninstall it. We want to install it always. That's the reason. So let's do installed Node.js, and the next thing what we will be doing is we will be creating a SCSS file. Okay, so inside the styles, I'm going to do index.scss. Then I'm going to get to the index file, import. So the moment I do this, I do a body font family open sans, and then I go back to our ZSH and do the npm start again. So this is going to automatically reload. Look at that, it started working. Now, the next thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same order of the components. So I'm going to do app.scss, and then here I'm going to include the app.scss by using import app, and then here dot app will have everything which is required. Okay, so I'm just going to give a padding 10 pixels or something like that, and this padding will be applied here. So this is the way we will be using styles inside our React application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like added basic styles. Now the next thing what I'm going to do is inside the app.scss, I'll be React is all about components, right? So what I have done so far is here, I created a repository which contains a lot of Bootstrap helpers. So this one has like card element, containers, etc. So let's go to the headers. So this is a simple React component. Okay, so what we will do is inside the component, I want to create a new file. Okay, so I'll use as headers header.js. Okay, and here I copy and paste this whole thing. I'll explain this code. So the first thing what I'm doing is I'm taking 3 parameters for headers, whether it is dark mode. Dark is a true or false. Then children will be the contents of the tag. Then class name, in case if I have a class name, I'm going to use. So for the dark, for this one, what I'm returning is I'm returning a nav tag which has a couple of class names, which has navbar, and if this is dark, I'm going to give navbar dark. If it is light, I'm going to give navbar light based on this particular ternary operation. Then I'm also, in case the class name is set, I'm going to give all the class names as well. Then I use another navbar brand, and then there is a the contents of the tag I'm just giving here. Okay, so this is what I created, and then what I'm going to do here is inside the app. So instead of all these things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove everything, and then I'm going to put header. For some reason, this is actually not working for me. So if I save this and then, okay, I'll again restart this one. So open this one with a new window and try to open this. Now, if I try to go here, put header, it is like technically not looking at this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do import header from header, and then I'm just going to put header. How many of you want a dark background? How many of you want a light header? So I'm just going to put dark equal to true. Then I'll save this. I'll go to app.scss, and then I'll just remove this padding. And if I see on the page, it's dead. So let's do an npm start again. Boom, you got a dark header. Okay, so the easiest way to create multiple types is like if I do false and give light, it's gonna create a light header, dark header, light header, dark header, something like that. So this is the main componentization technique that React uses so that we can make use of the components here. Ashish says that while making components, way of writing CSS is best. Inline or style component main CSS, what would you use? I will use the SCSS part because it is extendable, and each component will have its own SCSS file. And if I edit there, that will reflect there. I don't like styled components or CSS in JS. It's my personal opinion because it contains JavaScript. It renders using JavaScript because CSS is supposed to be CSS, right? It should be presentational. So that's my personal suggestion. Yeah. Okay, so why this much of code when you do it like in 10 lines of HTML? So let's say there are multiple things that we have done in case of like React application. For example, there is something called as resume, which we did. And this is a complete resume generator, a resume generator. And if you try to do the same thing in React, I don't think it's gonna work. Okay, so before that, let me try to find out which is the CNAME here. Okay, so look at this particular application. So all these things are React application. Like all these things are made using the things. Okay, so components and controls. So if you take an application which is so big like this, and in this part, it's going to be very easy for you to use React instead of basic HTML and CSS. This is going to take, like, say, for example, if I use Rajat Matthew, so it's going to quickly update this component with this component, the component intra-component interactions and other things. You won't be able to see how this is going to benefit in one simple line of code, which is true. So for example, for this particular demo application, this is not going to help much. But in case if you are using it for such a huge application like a resume builder, this is going to be really helpful. So that's the power of React. For small things, it is definitely not usable. The same way with my my application as well. So my website doesn't use React because it is an overkill for it. So this is a pure HTML and CSS. If you see the page source, it is going to have like just couple of divs and couple of tags. That's it, nothing else is there. So that's exactly, so wherever it is really required at that point of time, we should be using that. Okay, so that's a quick introduction about React and how to use this. And yes, this is hosted in GitHub Pages. So what we have to do is you need to use remember we did the npm run build and stuff like that. So what we are going to do now is okay, let's try building the whole thing. Okay, so now we have actually done something on creating this one, right? Okay, so let me get rid of this thing, React app, and then I'm just going to give a small paragraph with hey, we just built an awesome React React app. So I'll also put a text center. So this way I could see that it is looking like this. Okay, so it is also responsive as well. I mean, not exactly responsive, but responsive. Okay, so created header component and styles. Nice. The next thing which I'm going to show is something really interesting. Okay, so 1 second. Let's disable this one. Now the next thing is there is something called as a deployment tool. Okay, so I showed it something here, right? So let's go back to our master. I use something called as GH Pages. GH Pages is the npm application, and what we will be doing here is we will be using GH pages to publish our application. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to install GH pages. Oh. So npm install GH pages. And for the deployment, what I do is, so this is the deployment code. I'll explain everything. Installed GH pages. Let's close all these things. Let's open package.json. So the deploy command will use this build directory and then build the whole thing. And then the dip command, what it does is, the first thing that it does is first git push the whole lot of changes. Then it will do npm run build. And I don't want to echo this one because I'm not building it anywhere. And then I'm going to do npm run deploy. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. It's a very simple thing. So added min script. Now, if I do npm run dep, now let's sit back and relax. It is going to do everything for us. It's going to do the React scripts build. It's going to create an optimized production build. Boom. It has created all these things. It has created the 5 files that are required, just 5 files. And then the publishing has also been done. So if we go back to our application here, this particular thing, you can see that there is a GH pages already. So we haven't created this ourselves, but it automatically got created. So let me open this in a new window. Now I'll go to the settings. And then I'll go to GitHub pages. It already says that your site is published at this part. So if I open this one, okay, this will not come here because there is a problem with the way how this home page is done. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back to my package.json. And then here there is a particular thing called as home page. So I'll use this one and then updated home page. Now I'll do npm run dep. So let's wait for this. Once you do this one, you go back to your code. 12 seconds ago, this happened. Inside GH pages, you can see this. 1 minute ago, this updates has been done. If you keep refreshing, because it's just published. So let's refresh again. Okay, 17 seconds ago, this got published again. Okay, so now if we try to go back to our this particular link and try to run this, boom, we have published our application here. So Ashish says again, can't we use drop-down menu and other stuffs from Bootstrap that uses jQuery? What are the alternatives? Unfortunately, no, you can't use jQuery here. jQuery is completely DOM manipulation engine and React is a virtual DOM manipulation engine. But there is something called as React Strap. For people who want to use Bootstrap, but at the same time on React, you can use React Strap. It has React Bootstrap components, and almost everything is available in Bootstrap 4 is available here. This is the way you can, everything is like Bootstrap and boom, as simple as that. So if you try to use the components and all these alert boxes are done using alert, color, danger, then if we want a model window or something like that without any kind of like jQuery, all these things is going to work. So React Strap is also there. So this is easy to use. Sai Sumant, I'm not sure about Django and Flash because it's Flask, I guess. It's Python. I'm completely zero in Python, but I do believe that Django and Flask are back-end applications. This is a front-end application. So it's a single page application. This is completely like called as Jamstack. So there is a Jamstack movement happening right now. So only JavaScript markup and APIs are required. With that, you can run anything without a server. So for running Django on Flask, you need a server. This can run without a server. That is the good thing about React. React, Vue, and Angular, anything for that case. Okay, what is front end? What is back end? So front end is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is front end. Anything related to that runs on your browser is front end. So for those things that are running on the back end using a server application, for example, Python, Ruby, PHP, ASP.NET, Node.js. Node.js is like the server part. JavaScript runs on server as well. So server-side JavaScript. What else? Java, J2E, all these things are backend. They require a huge server, and that will obviously cost money as well. Okay, so for learning roadmaps, the development roadmaps, there is something called as roadmap.sh. This is one of the best sites I would always recommend people who want to know what next to be done. So now here, see, front end is here. Like this is what you need to do. After doing this front end, you can go with the back end. What best things that you can do? Always use this blue color tick so that this is recommended. And then finally, you want to go for React. React is also there. All these things are available. Nazim, without a server, see, GitHub automatically gives you a server. It's a free server. Look at this. This is available for free. Okay, so this is not localhost. This is like the real server. You can use this one. GitHub pages are free. You can use that. There is Netlify. There is AWS also. Free tier is there. You have Surge. You have Vercel. There are like Heroku. There are like hundreds of different platforms where you can host for free. Okay, so we are already running a lot of, I mean, like we are 15 minutes delayed. No limitations, Rajat. No limitations whatsoever for GitHub pages. A lot of my web applications are also hosted on GitHub. So for example, if I use events.praveen.science and let's say, okay, this is one particular event, all these things are used, it uses GitHub pages only. It's free for everyone. It is open source, so you can use this. Yeah, since we are running out of time, I just wanted to give a last couple of things. So please connect with me on LinkedIn, and please kindly subscribe to my channel. So that is here, and that's all I would like to say. And any questions or anything, please do connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer everything as well. So yep, so I'm looking forward to your connections, and those who are looking for internships, this is something like a surprise which I want to have it at the end, so that whoever is staying till the end, I wanted to give this as a surprise. We are hiring in the UK, and since the pandemic is going on, whoever is here right now, use this code. Okay, hire me for React. Okay, so just copy this code, okay, and then put it, don't share it with anyone right now. So we just wanted to make sure that this is not, so this is only for the people, the 38 people who are right now here, only for them. And yeah, so use this code and copy this code, and when you are connecting with me on LinkedIn, if you want a job in the UK, please message me, job or internship on the UK, please message me with this code, and definitely we will do something awesome. Okay, so what else? Thank you so much. And obviously anything in UK, internship, etc. are all paid only, brother. So thank you, that's me, and you can connect with me on these things.
Thank you, Praveen. It was really a awesome session, a bit of description regarding the React.js form. I hope all people have liked it and the surprise which you shared in the last. It is really great. So, guys, I've shared the feedback link and every description regarding Mentor as well. Like I've shared the LinkedIn profile link, YouTube, his YouTube channel. You can connect with him directly if you want, or through MFL. Always you can connect with him. And okay, that's all from our side. Any Praveen from your side, like at the end, you want to close any note or anything you want to tell with
Support me by subscribing to my channel. I'll be doing a lot of things in my YouTube channel, a lot of awesome things, and that will be the. That's all. That's a kind request from my end. That's it.
That's great. Okay, guys, go to his YouTube channel. Definitely go to his YouTube channel and follow the cool stuffs which he's sharing. Definitely, you all must try if you want to build your career in the same. So, guys, do share your feedback. Like I've already shared in the chat box. The first link you'll get it there. I'll also share in the WhatsApp group as well. So, yeah, definitely. Like Praveen, if you want, like you can sign out if you want because I will be there for next couple of minutes. Or you guys have any? Okay, that's great. Okay, goodbye.
Please connect with me on LinkedIn so that I'll be able to get the stuff. Okay, so we can talk in LinkedIn. Bye everyone. And obviously my website has my WhatsApp number as well in case if you're interested in connecting with me on WhatsApp. I'm happy with that as well. See you all. Have a nice day. Stay safe and bye bye.